views versus the Chicago Sky. The most watched regular season WNBA game since the league's inaugural 1997 season. We got to get into it. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Share the channel with the bell notification. Hype the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. The takeover is courtesy of Front Office Sports right here. The Fever Sky matchup drew 3.31 million viewers across NBC.
Something broke on live TV, and nobody in the league saw it coming. The 2026 WNBA season was supposed to go exactly how the bosses planned it. League execs, broadcast partners, old school insiders, even the coaches, they all thought they had control. Control over the biggest star in the game. Control over her spotlight. Control over how far she'd be allowed to climb. They were wrong. You can't cage greatness and expect it to stay quiet. What happened on national television wasn't just a game. It was a straight-up revolt. Caitlin Clark snapped. And instead of staying silent, she took matters into her own hands. For months, people were noticing something strange. Odd substitutions, broken offense, random benchings that made zero sense. It looked like someone, somewhere, was trying to slow her down on purpose. Then it all came to a head. Clark stopped looking at the sideline. She tossed the playbook aside and did things her own way, live in front of the whole country. And the reaction? Instant chaos. By breaking away from the system, Clark didn't just win a basketball game. She broke a record that nobody thought was even close to breakable. 31 million viewers. Live. All-time high. She didn't just beat the old Amazon Prime record. She crushed it. Fans are losing their minds over it. But behind closed doors, it's a different story. Panic. Full-blown panic. Because those millions of eyes didn't just see a win. They saw everything the league tried to hide. The sabotage, the whispers, the games behind the games. And now there's nowhere left for anyone to hide.
Now, don't get me wrong, the WNBA viewership does all right, but it don't even come close to how Caitlin Clark College last 2 years was, bro. That's why so many other creators started covering Caitlin, because the notoriety was so big. Everybody made a whole lot of money when Caitlin Clark played at Iowa. That's how, like, the ad revenue was crazy through the roof. I'm telling you guys, I don't think they're going to have a moment like that ever again, especially from the women's basketball perspective. What Caitlin Clark did was simply amazing, bro. Just simply amazing, dog. Now, with that being said, we have to talk about this because everybody and their mama talking about it. I seen it earlier today, and at this point, it's damn near not even worth reporting on. Caitlin Clark almost set viewer records every time she step on the court. Every time she step on the court, they're going to break records. It's been reported that historic ratings for Fever vs. Sky. NBC confirmed that the Indiana Fever 113-90 blowout victory.
To get why this exploded on the floor, we need to look at what's really been going on with the Indiana Fever coaching staff. Forget the polished press conferences for a second. Here's the raw truth. Stephanie White's handling of Caitlin Clark has been a coaching disaster. Think about it. You get handed a once-in-a-generation player. Someone who bends defenses just by standing 30 feet from the basket. Someone who sees passing lanes nobody else even notices. When you have that kind of talent, the job is simple. Let her loose, build speed around her, and get out of the way. Instead, the opposite happened. It was like trying to race a supercar. In a slow-motion tractor pull, the offense was stiff, sluggish, and it kept pulling the ball out of Clark's hands at the worst possible moments, right when the game was speeding up and she was ready to take over. Every time she got hot, nailing logo threes back-to-back, sending the crowd into a frenzy, the whistle would blow. White would call a timeout out of nowhere, kill the momentum, reset into some slow, grinding possession that helped nobody but the other team. Fans in the arena saw it. People watching at home felt it too. This wasn't just cautious coaching. It felt personal, like a message, like someone reminding Clark that the system comes first, no matter how special she is. But you can't put a leash on brilliance. People close to the team say the tension in the locker room was getting impossible to ignore. Huddles felt cold. No eye contact. No energy. Clark looked worn down, held back by a system that punished her for being herself. Then came the third quarter. The game was slipping away. The coaching staff still wouldn't budge. And that's when everything finally cracked.
A Fever game Sunday drew 3.31 million viewers. The most watched regular season game since the WNBA opening weekend in 1997, NBC announced. Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell combined for 67 points. Enes Kanter Freedom was removed from the Wintrust Arena mid-game. Let me also bring this up. If you think Sophie Cunningham's newfound popularity doesn't play a role here, and what she has decided to stand up for, you're wrong. You're wrong. There are so many people I'm seeing talking about Sophie that's never drew a breath about the WNBA. I'm just keeping it real. That's what we do on this channel. The August 23rd primetime coverage of the Fever Sky averaged a total audience delivery of 3.31 million, peaking at 3.82 million viewers. NBC Sports is averaging 1.75 million.
This is the moment basketball fans won't forget. Coming out of yet another awkward timeout, Stephanie White is on the sideline, waving her arms, calling for a slow post-up play. Nothing new. Same old script. Caitlin Clark brings the ball up. She glances at the bench for just a second, and then she says no. She waves off the play, completely ignores the coaching signals. Instead, she looks at her teammates, gives a quick nod, and takes over the entire building herself. No set play. No waiting around for the defense to get comfortable. She calls her own screen, steps right into the defense, and fires a 28-footer that's already through the net before the defenders even react. Next possession, bench is still stunned. Clark jumps a passing lane, sprints the length of the floor, and dishes a no-look pass that sends the crowd into full-on chaos. At this point, she's not running White's offense anymore. She's running her own show. The pace shoots through the roof. The defense can't keep up because now they're not facing a game plan. They're facing pure instinct, confidence, chaos they can't predict. Caitlin Clark wasn't playing basketball anymore. She was taking over the game with her bare hands.
Peacock delivers 3.31 million viewers, the most watched regular season game since the opening weekend of the WNBA's inaugural season. This is not because of everyone, people. This is because of the one and only, Caitlin the GOAT Clark. Make no mistake about it. Everybody else just needs to be grateful that you are here for the ride. Be grateful that you are able to ride on private jets every other day. Be grateful that you are able to make hundreds of thousands and for some millions of dollars. Be grateful that people are actually watching. Stop trying to call all of them racist and all of this stuff. Just be grateful and appreciative of what this lady has brought to your league. It's that simple. Take a look at this here. It says the NBC Sports primetime presentation of the Indiana Fever Chicago Sky Sunday night basketball game on August 23rd averaged a total audience of 3.31 million viewers on NBC and Peacock, making it the most watched WNBA game since the opening weekend of league's inaugural 1997 season and the third most watched WNBA regular season game ever. Okay?
And just like that, the coaching staff had nothing left to say. They sat down, they watched, and Clark tore the game plan apart, piece by piece, engineering one of the most electric comebacks fans have seen all year. The lesson was right there for everyone to see. The best strategy this team could ever run? Get out of Caitlin Clark's way. But White wasn't the only one exposed that night. This performance also sent a message to a certain group of players who've spent this whole season acting more like reality TV stars than professional athletes. Names like Angel Reese and Dejounte Carrington. Instead of putting in the work, sharpening their game, and respecting the player who's literally carrying the league on her back, they've spent their time on petty drama, passive-aggressive interviews, and post-game theatrics.
Let's come over here. Caitlin Clark sets WNBA viewership for Prime, on par with NBA average. The Fever Dallas Wings on Thursday averaged 1.07 million viewers, according to Sports Media Watch. That is the most watched WNBA game ever measured on Prime Video, surpassing the Aces Fever from 2 weeks earlier, 948,000. Note that the viewership comes with a major caveat. While Prime has aired WNBA games since 2021, this is the first year that the games have been Nielsen rated. Most impressively, viewership for the Fever Wings was on par with the NBA on Prime Video, which averaged 1.07 million across last season. Holy crap. That rating matched the average that the NBA was drawing. By the way, that was a rough game to watch. Whoa. Unbelievable. Caitlin Clark is doing her thing. I will say this. That game on NBC the other night that we watched, it was absolutely in the top 3 most entertaining games.
Angel Reese and Dejournay Carrington had spent the whole season building their entire identity around drama. Cheap shots, hard fouls after the whistle, trash talk for the cameras. They convinced themselves they were the real stars of this story, riding the wave that Caitlin Clark created. But the moment she went rogue, that whole illusion fell apart in front of everyone watching. On the court, the difference was impossible to ignore. Reese and Carrington tried their usual game plan. Get physical, crowd her space, throw off her rhythm. That's worked on other players before. It didn't work here. A fully unleashed Caitlin Clark was playing on a level they simply couldn't reach. She split double teams like they weren't even there. She pulled up from deep, right in their faces, and buried it. She threaded passes right over their arms like they were standing still. By the fourth quarter, the trash talk had gone quiet. The smirks disappeared. The loudest voices in the league had nothing left to say. They were just watching now, up close, with zero answers. Clark didn't just beat them on the scoreboard. She showed the entire basketball world the gap between real, generational talent and everything else. And then came the number that broke the internet. This game pulled in over 3 million live viewers. Not just a good number, an all-time record. It didn't just beat the league's usual audience. It blew past it. This broadcast is now one of the most watched WNBA games in the sport's entire history, only trailing a handful of games from the league's very first season, decades ago. Think about that for a second. Nearly 30 years of WNBA basketball, thousands of games played, and this one lands near the very top. And people who watch these numbers for a living are saying the same thing. This is just the beginning. Wait until the playoffs. Wait until the drama from this season boils over even more. Some are predicting this number could climb to 5 or 6 million before it's all said and done. That's not normal growth. That's a phenomenon. Here's the truth nobody in the league office wants to say out loud. There is no other single player in this sport who can move a number like this. Not one. And that's exactly why people keep trying to explain it away, or credit the system, or credit the team. But the numbers don't care about excuses. The numbers just tell the truth. While the old-school critics were busy complaining about her attitude, and while the haters were still in their feelings about her taking over, the official ratings landed like a gut punch to anyone doubting her. Over 3 million people, all watching live, at the same time, making this the biggest audience this league has drawn in the modern era. Let that sink in. This is the Caitlin Clark effect running at full power, and it is undeniable. These numbers expose something the league has been trying to bury for a long time. People are not tuning in for press conferences. They are not tuning in to watch slow, overly managed basketball. They are not tuning in for post-game drama or manufactured rivalries. They are tuning in for one reason, and one reason only, to watch Caitlin Clark do things on a basketball court that nobody else can do. And here's the thing. Fans who watch that game live are saying the exact same thing. That was one of the most entertaining basketball games of the entire year. Why? Because Clark was allowed to actually play, push the pace, attack in transition, make plays on instinct. When this team plays fast and lets her cook, they're one of the best watches in the sport. But the second they slow it down, force the extra pass, and grind through a stiff, overcoached half-court set, it becomes painful to sit through. And that's the real issue here. Sports is entertainment. People don't want to be told who to root for. They don't want a corporate narrative handed to them about who deserves the spotlight or who's the face of the league. They want to watch who they want to watch, cheer for who they want to cheer for, and enjoy the game on their own terms. Nobody owes an apology for that. Nobody should have to. And now, after a night like this, the league is stuck. What can they realistically do? Bench her. Fine her. Punish the one player responsible for record-breaking ratings, driving new subscriptions, and pulling casual fans into the sport for the first time. That's not a punishment. That's league suicide. They have zero leverage here. Zero room to push back. Caitlin Clark holds every card at the table, and everyone in that front office knows it. This is the moment the story flips for good. The 2026 season will be remembered as the season Clark refused to shrink herself. She threw out a playbook that was holding her back. She exposed a coaching staff that couldn't keep up with her. She silenced the players who built their whole brand off her success without giving her any credit. And in the middle of all that chaos, she delivered the biggest audience this league has ever seen. The old way of doing things, control the star, protect the system, manage the message, that grip is broken now. And it's not coming back. Mainstream sports media won't tell you this part of the story. They're too worried about staying friendly with coaches, front offices, and league insiders to say what's obvious to every single fan watching at home. But the fans already know. The scoreboard knows. The ratings know. So here's what I want to know from you. Was Clark completely justified in tossing out a system that was clearly holding her back? Have players like Reese and Carrington done permanent damage to how fans see them with the way they've carried themselves this season? And after a night like this, over 3 million viewers, a record shattered, a league exposed. Is there any argument left that Caitlin Clark isn't the single biggest reason people are watching this league right now? Drop your take in the comments. I want a real conversation down there, not just people agreeing with me. Tell me if you disagree too. If you're someone who wants basketball breakdowns that don't tiptoe around the truth to protect anybody's reputation, then make sure you're subscribed and notifications are turned on, because stories like this are only going to keep coming. Stay locked in, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.